Hello everybody, Keith here again. Today I'm going to repot my Shelob Tolkien. It's been in this pot for a little while now, a good year or so, but it's got to the stage where it's just too big. We've got a previous growth there which has never got its roots in the pot. We've got a new growth here which isn't going to get its roots in the pot. There is a new growth coming here from that other one, and if we come around this side again we've got two new growths, and even that one is struggling to get its roots down, so I need to do something with this or it's going to lose its vigour. I hope I can get it back into this pot, but that's going to mean cropping it somehow. There might be some bulbs that can come off. I'm just going to take it out and we'll see what we've got. There's a lot of root in here, so hopefully, there we go. It is wet. It was watered only a couple of days ago. So, oh hello, that's separated into two plants straight away. So that's, it definitely wasn't two plants when I did it before. But that appears to have separated. We've got bits of old pseudo bulb there that have gone. So that gives me the chance to give it a really good clean up. Try and sort these roots out a bit. There we go. In fact, I've got more than that, look, because I've got another one where it's all separated, one from another, and I've got three pseudo bulbs and a new growth on that one. I've got four pseudo bulbs and new growth there, because I think that's completely dead. That might as well come off. And then we've got this one, which is by far the biggest piece. But again, if we look at this, I need to get this lot down into the pot better. It's trying to separate again, look. In fact, it's separating again just here. So I'm actually going to end up with four plants. And this is going to be very interesting to try and get back in the pot. Oh, well. We appear to have quite a good root system on all these plants, but that wasn't what I was expecting at all, not in the slightest. So looking at this one for a start, that's got no root on, and you've got 1, 2, 3, really 4 pseudo bulbs in that one, so I do think that could come off. There's nothing wrong with it, it's absolutely fine, but it's got no roots on. It's simply a storage organ. This one I think has got to be trimmed. For some reason we've got a very long piece of rhizome here, and to get that to go in, that's going to get half buried. It's going to have bark up there. That's going to be completely in the bottom. So I think that has got to be trimmed. And as I said earlier on, exactly the same is going to apply to this one. The back end is virtually dead. So if I take that off here, that'll be better. This one, same problem. It's got a leaf on still. It was actually already buried in the compost, but it's going to go down even deeper. And I do not like putting pseudo bulbs in the compost. I've been assured it's fine, I just don't like doing it. It just seems to be storing up issues for the future. So this has obviously split itself up, but this one's not got brilliant roots on it. The roots on this piece are not that good. Some of them are. Some of these down here are fine. A lot of these are not very good, which sort of implies that things were not right in here as it was. And the question then comes, how do I treat these now? We've got very obviously branching rootstocks, so do I split these up or do I put them into one pot? That, I think, now is going to end up being a bit big. But do I want 2 or 3 pots of Shelob Tolkien? And I think the answer to that is probably no. This is going to be very, very interesting, this is, because I just don't know how I'm going to deal with it. I really, really don't. I've not had something separate like this one has before. Now, as always, these have been looked after, so I'm going to take this off like that. Absolutely fine, nothing there at all, just like on all the others, thank goodness. So that with some cinnamon is going to be fine. This one, as I say, there's nothing wrong with it. It's firm, it's fine, but I think it's got to come off because it's climbed, there's no roots on it. Get rid, again, it's fine. I need some cinnamon. We'll go from there. We have got a new growth. If I can persuade that to come on, we'll get some new roots, and we've got some root coming out from the previous bulb. This one, well, again, roots from the back end are not very good. It's going to have to be buried. I think I'm going to have to take one bulb off like that. Again, unsurprisingly, no problems with that end. It's just that by the time I've buried everything in the bark, if I'm not very careful, I'm going to end up with something that's just got bulbs down in the bottom. And the same really is going to apply to this bit. The compost is going to be up there, which I think is probably too deep for that one. So we'll have that one off. Load of cinnamon. I'm not even going to bother rinsing the roots, they're absolutely fine as they are. It's all come away from the bark, there's nothing, no problems there. I don't like cutting viable bits off like that, but I think that's all I can do. So okay, that's a fairly quick one. So I'm going to go and get some cinnamon, put some cinnamon on all the cuts, and then try and work out what the best way is to repot it. Okay, so I've decided to put them into 2 smaller pots. I looked at the pot it came out of, and although the roots had got to the bottom, I wasn't sure that that was best. We know that a lot of orchids like to be under potted rather than over potted, and I think now it's been cut back I can get away with these, and they'll have a fair amount of space because I can bring these 2 pieces together in this one, for example, and give it room for, or possibly a couple of years growth perhaps, if I'm lucky. Unfortunately that one's got a root tip knocked off, but so be it. There's still plenty of roots on that one. This is a slightly bigger pot, but it gives this one even more room to grow, so we're fine at that. So I don't think anybody really wants to see me banging bark into it. I'm just going to use what it was in. It was in a sort of medium-sized bark, and it's done very well in that. It's been quite happy in there, grown really well. I may put a small amount of the Westland into it just to give it a little bit of water retentive medium to help the roots, but I'm not going to use a lot of it, definitely not, because I think whatever else, these need to be kept so that they dry out in a week or so. So I'll knock off again, sort the repotting out properly, and then I'll show you the results. Okay, the last look at these for today. We've got these into those two smaller pots. Perhaps not got quite as much room in this one as I would have liked, but I think we've got a fair amount of growing space for there, because obviously they're coming this way. This one I think is going to be absolutely fine for growing room for quite a little while. It's a bit deeper, it's a bit wider, so it's possibly a better pot, except we don't want them to be too over potted, so it's kind of swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But I've ended up now, I've got 4 plants that have been trimmed back, and hopefully we'll just kick on. So these just want watering, and then I go back upstairs where they normally sit. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this, and I'll see you soon. Bye.